They live in a vast zone, its perimeter guarded by the military for the conservation of their way of life. But more and more the outside world is getting in, poachers stealing the wild boar the Jawas hunt for their food, criminals selling this as bushmeat at illegal markets.
In 2024, hidden details about indigenous tribes living in the heart of the Amazonian rainforests across South America have changed our perception of them. Cut off from civilization, these tribes found unusual methods to protect themselves and their homes. Researchers venturing into the Amazon have now unearthed several unusual weapons used by these tribes for defense. 1. The Yanomami people. The Yanomami are an indigenous group living in the Amazon rainforest across northern Brazil and southern Venezuela. With a population of 35,000 to 45,000, they live in scattered villages, each operating independently across 17.8 million hectares. This is one of the biggest tribes there is. The Yanomami sustain themselves through slash-and-burn agriculture, hunting and gathering, and the weapons they use are interesting. One of the most popular weapons they use are the bamboo-tipped arrows. These arrows are unique because of their tips, which are made from sharpened bamboo instead of metal or stone. For defense purposes, they also coat the bamboo tips with natural toxins such as curare or plant-based poisons to increase their lethality. These toxins can immobilize prey or enemies quickly, and then they can choose to either capture the people or eliminate them altogether. 2. Wama spears. Wama spears are traditional weapons used by some Amazonian tribes, notably the Yanomami people. These spears are distinguished by their long, slender design, often crafted from local hardwoods, making them both durable and effective in the dense jungle environment. The spearheads are usually made from sharpened wood, bone, or sometimes stone, depending on the available resources. They are mainly used for hunting, allowing the people to target small animals to larger prey like tapirs or wild boars. The length of the spear provides the reach needed to strike from a distance, reducing the risk of injury from dangerous animals. While the method of using the spears might look unusual, they're incredibly efficient to get the job done. 3. A real tribe. The Yanomami might be one tribe, but they've got an incredibly unique social structure where each village functions independently without a central governing authority. They live in large communal houses known as shabonos, which are circular structures that can accommodate multiple families, fostering a strong sense of community. Egalitarianism is a key aspect of Yanomami society, with decisions typically made through consensus among adult males. They really believe in shared leadership and mutual respect. If there are issues within or between the tribes, the leaders work together to figure it out, and most of the time, there's no fighting to get the job done. As they're a warrior tribe, there are warriors within each village, but they choose to figure out most of their problems by talking about them. Their tongues and their brains are considered their biggest weapons. 4. Eternal life. The Yanomami aren't just a powerful tribe because they're strong today. It's because they believe they're also carrying the souls of those who have passed. That's not a coincidence. There's a very specific ritual that gets them there. The Yanomami practice a unique form of cannibalism known as endocannibalism, which involves consuming the flesh of deceased relatives as a significant aspect of their burial rituals. The burial process is a multi-stage ritual that begins with the body being wrapped in leaves and placed away from the village for 30 to 45 days. This time allows insects to consume the soft tissues, leaving behind only the bones. Afterward, the bones are collected, cremated, and the ashes are mixed with a soup made from fermented bananas. The soup is then consumed by all the living relatives, so they can help the soul live on forever. 5. Revenge. Just because the Yanomami is a generally peaceful tribe doesn't mean they don't end up getting harmed by others. There are times when people are eliminated by rival tribes, but their burial isn't the same as the other people. While endo-cannibalism still happens, not everyone consumed the soup. Only the women of the tribe do, and this act occurs on the same night that revenge is sought against the enemy. This variation of the ritual deepens the connection between the Yanomami's beliefs about death and their concept of justice. 6. Thin whips. In the Hamar tribe of Ethiopia, the Ukuli Bula ritual is a significant rite of passage where women undergo whipping as part of young men's transition into adulthood. This practice, while painful, holds deep cultural significance, symbolizing love, sacrifice, and brings the community together. The whipping is a public demonstration of a woman's dedication to her male relatives, showcasing her emotional strength and willingness to endure pain for their success. It also serves as a rite of passage for young men, with female relatives taking part to strengthen familial bonds and provide support. This tribe doesn't see pain as a threat at all. They get used to it so early on in their lives that it never ends up being a problem for them. They're never going to be scared of it. 7. Bacteria knives. Bacteria knives are tiny but deadly weapons that no one wants to come in contact with. The process begins with collecting iron-rich precipitate formed by these bacteria in environments like creeks and ponds. These bacteria oxidize dissolved iron, leading to rust-like deposits that can be gathered from the water or sediment. The collected precipitate is then dried and ground into a fine powder to facilitate smelting. In the smelting process, this powder is mixed with a carbon source, such as charcoal, and heated in a furnace or a makeshift forge. The heat causes the iron oxide to react with the carbon, reducing it to pure iron. This iron is then shaped into a knife through forging, hammering, and shaping the hot metal. When used against enemies, these weapons can infect the people and cause injuries that would finish them off over time, even if the initial attack doesn't. All they need to do is nick the other person, and they won't be able to fight off the infection. 8. Longbows. The Hadzabe tribe of Tanzania is renowned for their use of traditional longbows. Hadzabe longbows are typically crafted from flexible, durable wood, such as the acacia or tamarind tree, which provides the necessary strength and elasticity. The bow is carefully shaped to achieve a balance between flexibility and power. The string is often made from natural fibers like animal sinew or plant materials, which are carefully twisted to ensure durability and consistency. The arrows used with Hadzabe longbows are also very specifically made. They are usually made from straight, lightweight shafts, often from reeds or bamboo. The arrowheads are commonly made from sharpened stones or metal tips, which are securely attached to the shafts. The fletching, or feathers, is added to stabilize the arrow during flight, so there's much higher accuracy over long distances. These are used to hunt and to protect the tribe from any danger, as they can be used from a far-away distance. You can hide from these arrows, but you can't run. 9. Fishing spears. The Yagua people, indigenous to the Amazon rainforest in Peru, use specialized, long, barbed fishing spears for hunting fish for the tribe. Yagua fishing spears are typically made from durable, locally sourced materials like wood and natural fibers. The spear's length allows for precision and reach, crucial for targeting fish in the shallow and often murky waters of the Amazon rivers and streams. The barbs on the spear are carefully set in to ensure that once a fish is impaled, it is securely held and can't get away. 10. Poison darts. The Matis people, known as the Jaguar Men, are renowned for their intricate hunting techniques in Brazil's well-preserved forests. The blowpipes they use are typically made from lightweight, straight wood or bamboo, and are usually quite long to achieve the necessary accuracy and distance. The darts are like needles, with tips coated in a potent poison derived from local plants or insects. The Matis hunt with a high degree of skill and patience. The poison darts are shot from blowpipes with precision, allowing them to target prey even when it is high up in the trees. They know their way around the forest and around their weapon, and with it, they can hunt just about anything or anyone. 11. The rungu. The rungu, a traditional weapon of the Samburu tribe in Kenya, is a wooden throwing club and can take down an enemy in one swoop. This weapon is crafted from hard, durable woods, selected for their ability to withstand frequent use while remaining manageable in weight. The construction involves shaping a long, narrow shaft that has a heavy knob or ball at the end. This design allows for effective throwing and hand-to-hand combat, making it a versatile weapon. An average rungu measures between 18 and 20 inches in length, so it's easy to carry, but is still powerful enough to be used in combat. Not everyone gets to wield one of these, only the warriors of the tribe do. They're the ones that make it, and they're the ones to use it to protect the people of their tribe. 12. Macuahuitl. The macuahuitl is a traditional weapon used by the Aztec and other Mesoamerican cultures, and it might just be one of the most dangerous weapons known to man. It's essentially a wooden club with a broad, flat blade edge. From afar, it looks like a large, serrated sword and is often described as a type of sword club. The main body is typically made from a single piece of hardwood, such as oak or mesquite, which provides the necessary strength and durability. But that's just the basis of the weapon. The main thing that does all the damage here is the obsidian blades that run through the sides. Obsidian is a volcanic glass that can be fractured to create edges with an atomic scale sharpness, much finer than metal blades. It creates a cutting edge that is incredibly sharp, with the ability to slice through flesh and tissue with minimal resistance. What's even worse is that when this slices, it leaves little shards of itself behind, causing even more damage to the person that's attacked with it. Even those that walk away from an attack suffer for hours, possibly even forever, because these shards aren't the easiest to get rid of. 13. Aztec sacrificial knife. Aztec sacrificial knives were crucial to the ritual practices of Aztec civilization. These knives, with their wooden handles and razor-sharp flint blades, were used in ceremonies dedicated to various gods, including Xiuhtecuhtli, the god of fire and time. One notable example of such a knife, discovered in a cave, features a handle intricately crafted to resemble Xiuhtecuhtli. This detail underscores the symbolic importance of the knife in the rituals it was used for. The handle's design is not merely decorative, but serves to connect the physical tool with the divine figure it represents. During the month of Izcalli, a ceremonial period dedicated to Xiuhtecuhtli, the Aztecs performed elaborate rites. Participants, often volunteers or chosen individuals, would take on the role of the god, embodying Xiuhtecuhtli's attributes. This reenactment included being burned and then sacrificed with the ceremonial knife. The ritual was believed to honor the god, ensuring his favor and maintaining cosmic balance. The act of sacrifice was considered a crucial offering, believed to sustain the gods and, by extension, the universe. 14. The Kapinga. The Kapinga is a traditional weapon used by the Fulani people, primarily found in West Africa. It has a broad, flat blade with a slightly curved edge. The blade looks like a large, asymmetrical leaf. Its design is optimized for both throwing and slashing, both of which it's great at. Designed for throwing with precision, the broad, flat blade allows it to cut through the air efficiently, making it effective at striking targets from a distance. Skilled throwers can achieve impressive accuracy and range. When it hits the target, it's strong enough to cut so deep, it can easily hit vital organs in one go. The great thing about this weapon is that when thrown from far away, the weight adds to the overall impact. It hits even harder than one would think, but when you're up close with the target, it can also be used to slash through their flesh easily. Let's just say, no one wants to come in range of this insane weapon. 15. Poison frogs. Blowguns and poisonous frogs are integral to the hunting practices of several indigenous tribes in the Amazon rainforest, especially among tribes such as the Matis and the Kayapo. Traditional blowguns are made from lightweight materials such as bamboo or palm wood, but it's the darts here that are the most dangerous part of the weapon. Poisonous frogs are used to lace the darts with natural poison, and when the darts hit the target, they are instantly taken down. Sometimes, whole frogs can be used as the projectile, so it can be ensured that the person on the receiving end will be taken down. 16. Javelins. The Chabu people live in the southwestern highland forests of Ethiopia. They use iron-tipped javelins of various types and dimensions. These javelins are crafted to suit different hunting needs, from small to larger animals. The choice of materials and design reflects their deep understanding of their environment and traditional hunting methods. The javelins are essential tools for survival, but they're extremely skilled at using them. The use of javelins is not just a practical matter, but also a cultural tradition. The techniques and craftsmanship involved in making and using these javelins have been passed down through generations. 17. Stone axe. A stone axe is a traditional tool and weapon used by various Amazonian tribes. They use it for hunting, but also to attack anyone trying to move in on their territory. The head of the axe is typically made from a hard stone, which is then carefully shaped and sharpened. The stone is often ground down, using other rocks, and then polished to create a sharp edge. This axe head is then securely attached to a wooden handle, carved from a durable hardwood found in the rainforest, like palm wood or ironwood. With the stone and the handle being shaped to fit each other perfectly, there's usually no need to even fasten the stone inside. It just doesn't fall out. The axe can be thrown at the target repeatedly, and it stays in place. The simplest weapon, but often the most dangerous too. 18. Native American knives. Native Americans also have a long history of weapons, and while they aren't necessarily going to war with other tribes anymore, they still make their own traditional weapons. Their knives in particular have a rich history and were used for a variety of tasks. Traditionally, they were made from materials like stone, bone, and antler, and later from metal after European contact. Flint and obsidian were popular choices for the blades because they could be made incredibly sharp. The handles were typically crafted from wood or animal parts. That's how they're still made to this day. These knives are multifunctional. They are crucial for hunting, serving as close combat weapons, and used for skinning animals and everyday tasks. Some knives were also designed for throwing. which helped in both hunting and battle. So whether they're involved in a fight or are just out hunting for food. 19. Chakram. The chakram is an ancient Indian weapon, and it might seem weird for a dangerous weapon to be circular. Its shape is what makes this one so dangerous. The chakram is typically a flat, circular disc with a sharp outer edge. It usually has a diameter ranging from 5 to 12 inches. The edges can be serrated or smooth, depending on the person using them and what they're comfortable with. This weapon is carefully balanced to ensure that it can be thrown accurately. The weight distribution is crucial to make sure they've got the right aerodynamic properties and will go exactly where the thrower intends for it to go. In combat, the chakram can be used to strike opponents from a distance. Its sharp edge allows it to slice through flesh and other materials. Skilled users can even throw it in a way that makes it bounce off surfaces and strike multiple targets. Those that didn't use this for offensive purposes often kept one on hand for defensive uses. Holding this up while an up-close enemy attacked made it impossible for them to go through with it. 20. Kakuti. The kakuti is a small, spiked ring that can be worn on the finger like a regular ring, only it's designed to do some serious damage. It usually has one or more sharp spikes protruding from its surface. The spikes inflict damage when the wearer strikes or scratches an opponent. Traditionally, kakutis were made from metal, such as iron or steel. The metal was forged or cast into the desired shape and then sharpened to a fine point. In some cases, the ring itself could be crafted from a sturdy, durable material that could withstand impact, so it could be used to break through some light armor too. These are the types of weapons that were mostly used in hand-to-hand combat and for fighters that needed to be discreet. They could attack or defend themselves without ever revealing their weapon. It's small, easily concealed, and can get the job done in an instant. 21. The rack. The rack is an infamous torture device used mostly during the medieval period, designed to inflict extreme physical pain and extract confessions or information from prisoners. It's got a large, rectangular frame with rollers at both ends. It typically measures around 6 to 10 feet in length. Some just had the rollers, others had ropes that would pull like the rollers but had to be used manually. The prisoner was strapped to the rack, with their hands and feet fastened to the rollers at either end. As the rollers turned, the prisoner's limbs were pulled in opposite directions, causing intense pain and potentially dislocating joints or tearing muscles and ligaments. The people being tortured could end up dying because of the pain, but the device was just meant to torture the truth out of them. To this day, it's one of the most unusual weapons ever used against people in history. 22. The ducking stool. The ducking stool is a historical torture device used primarily through the 18th century. It was designed to punish and humiliate people, particularly women, accused of crimes like witchcraft or moral offenses. It was made with a wooden chair or seat mounted on a framework with a lever mechanism, kind of like a seesaw with a chair on one end. The chair usually had ropes attached to it, so new ones wouldn't have to be used with each new person. The accused person would be strapped or bound to the chair, often with their hands and feet secured so they couldn't get away from it no matter how hard they tried. The chair was then lowered into a body of water, such as a river or pond. The stool could be raised and lowered repeatedly, causing the victim to be submerged in the water. These chairs and stools would sometimes be used just to hurt the people. Other times, they were used to keep them underwater for a long time, until they couldn't breathe anymore. 23. Bullet ant gloves. The Sataré Mawe tribe of the Amazon rainforest has a grueling initiation rite known as the bullet ant glove ritual, to mark the transition from boy to man. This rite is particularly intense and is performed by placing the hands into specially designed gloves filled with bullet ants, known for their excruciatingly painful stings. The gloves, made from woven plant fibers, are lined with dozens of these formidable ants. During the ritual, boys as young as 12 years old insert their hands into the gloves, where they are repeatedly stung by the ants. The venom of bullet ants is known for causing extreme pain, which can feel as if one has been shot. The intense pain, accompanied by temporary paralysis and swelling, can last for several hours. To complete the initiation, boys must go through this painful process for 10 minutes at a time. The ritual is repeated up to 20 times over a period of months or years. Once they make it through this unusual weapon against their own people, these men become numb to pain, so no one can take them down. 24. Finger cutting. In some indigenous cultures, the practice of finger cutting serves as a deeply symbolic and physical expression of mourning, the loss of a close relative. When a close relative dies, members of these tribes may cut off the top joint of one or more fingers as a gesture of grief and respect. This act is seen as a powerful demonstration of the mourner's connection to the deceased, symbolizing the pain and loss they feel. The severed finger also serves as a lasting reminder of the loved one who has passed away, ensuring that their memory remains physically embodied in the mourner. People that have cut fingertips are considered extremely strong, not just because worldly things can't hurt them anymore, but also because they're so mentally strong after what they go through that they become a formidable threat to everyone around them. 25. Crocodile skin. For the Chambri, the rite of passage from being a boy to man is extremely difficult. The ritual begins when boys, usually around the age of 11 to 18, are taken to a secluded men's house where they undergo a series of initiations. The most significant and painful part of this process involves scarification, where the skin on their backs, shoulders, and chests is cut with sharp blades to create patterns resembling crocodile scales. These cuts are placed to mimic the rough, textured skin of a crocodile. The process is excruciating and can last for several hours. It's an incredibly difficult initiation to go through, but there are no men spared from it. With it, they go from being boys to actual weapons that no one can take down. Could you last a day in any of these tribes?